It's the rejection. People just are not used to being told no so many times, and they don't know what to do. And people like a paycheck. They'd rather take a regular life than roll the dice. But the best part about sales is you're not really rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice and you kind of know where they're going, and you get to pick them up and roll them again, pick them up and roll them again, pick them up and roll them again.
Well, you get to control your own destiny in sales. And I hate jobs and people that come into, I get a salary and, vacation and a laptop and a car allowance, we're around the same age. That's the mindset of most people that don't want to go hunt and eat what they kill. And you don't want to be capped on what you can make in sales. You have unlimited income potential, right?
Yeah. It's what we say here all the time, just limitless livelihood, man.
Bam. Jason Waller here, True Underdog Podcast, top 3 entrepreneur motivational podcast. Thank you. Make sure you click the subscribe button as soon as possible. I have got a special guest today. My man, Ryan Serhant. He's the American real estate broker, best-selling author, producer, and TV personality. We were just pre-gaming here talking about $170 million listings, $300 million listings. And this guy started from the bottom and worked his way to the top. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Decent intro, right?
Dude, great intro. So it was fast too. I love a good, fast, heavy hitting intro.
I'm a fast talker. Now, a lot of people might not know who you are watching the show, but they need to find out. We met through a mutual friend on a show that's coming out in October called Office Hours. But I got to hear your story and I was inspired. I was like, look, this is somebody who wanted to get into Broadway as a young man, wanted to get into acting, moved to New York, was struggling and decided you were going to get into real estate. So I want to jump right there because some people see you on TV and they're like, oh, this guy, has it made, but they don't understand some of the obstacles and issues you had to get through to get to that point. So tell us about when you first moved to New York and what you were wanting to do.
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess even before that, if people don't know, most people know me from $1 Million Listing New York on Bravo. I'm a real estate broker based in New York City, amongst other things. But I'm not from New York. I was born in Houston, Texas, bounced around a lot as a little kid, settled outside Boston, went to school upstate New York. The only thing I was good at was theater. I wasn't even great at it. I was just good at it. And I liked it, right? I liked it. I think because I was so self-conscious and insecure, when you're a kid and a teenager doing theater, like theater kids are nice and they'll take you in, right? Because they're all kind of outcasts. And like any theater kid when you're growing up is like the kid that didn't have a good throwing arm. You guys go get on stage and pretend to be trees. And so, it was easier for me to pretend to be somebody else than it was to actually be myself, which is something that took me a while to learn. And then I've always been somebody who would rather regret the things I did than the things I never tried. And I never wanted to leave anything on the table. And so when I graduated, I said, listen, I can just get a job like everybody else. I could, maybe go back to school, kind of like a lot of my other friends, or I want to see if I can make this acting thing work. So I'm just going to go to New York City. And it was the summer of 2006. And I gave myself as much time as I possibly could. I had some money saved up. My grandfather had died and I had some money from him, not a lot. And it lasted me like 2 years, right? Living in New York City. I lived in a little studio apartment in Koreatown. I shared a bathroom with 16 people.
Wait, you just kind of slid that in there like it was no big deal. 16 people? You shared a bathroom?
Yeah, 38 West 31st Street. The building hadn't really been converted yet from a tenement building. And so you had like rooms for rent and then you had bathrooms on the floor. But now when I talk about it, I have the same reaction you do. But at the time, like I just gotten out of college. Like I was used to not having my own shower. Right now, just, upstate New York college guys are very different than Koreatown, New York City people. And so that was unique. But like it enabled me to live in Midtown. I didn't have to live in Jersey or deep Brooklyn or Queens and have to commute everywhere. I lived on 31st and Broadway. Like I was on top of Macy's and every single subway station. And I was willing to do that to make sure that I had easy access everywhere so I could get to any audition. I could get anywhere, because if I was going to move to New York and like put my life like on the line, then who gives a shit where you shower? Like right. You got to do everything you possibly can. You know how many people I meet where they're like, oh yeah, but that's not that nice. I'm like, fuck you. It's not that nice. It's not supposed to be nice. Like you're 22. Like
you got to earn your keep. It just doesn't give it to you. Right.
Yeah. So I did that, and then I ran out of money. I got lucky early. I got onto a soap opera, but then they killed me off. So that didn't work out. And it was either go home, and my parents had by that point moved to Colorado. And it was, work on the ranch, and just figure things out, or it was go back to school, or it was become a waiter or a bartender or get a temp job. Or a friend of mine said, listen, you like theater, you like acting, right? So you can talk to people and strangers and improv, get your real estate license. It's the same exact thing. Memorize information about streets and buildings. Just memorize it. That's all it is. And just be confident when you meet somebody as if you've been doing this 1,000 years. And that's exactly what improv is. It's theater, right? Like you're a 22-year-old kid and you get given a script. And you're like, all right, be an 80-year-old man. That's what I trained for my entire life. So it's okay. Here's a script on this building. You're going to meet somebody. Be somebody that's been doing this for 10 years. Go. And that was really my training. And I became kind of addicted to it because when I was in New York City for 2 years trying to be an actor, you work for free. That's all you do. Free student films, free theater, in the grass. Like you try to do stuff for money, but really you work for free. You build up your resume, you build up your acting reel, all that. And real estate's the same thing. As a broker, no one pays me salaries. I don't get paid by the hour. There's no benefits. You eat what you kill, and you try to kill as much as you possibly can. And so I was totally used to that. And I was used to rejection as well when I got into real estate. A lot of people, actually, I think it's like 82% of all newly licensed real estate agents in New York City quit in the first 12 months because they can't hack it and they can't stomach it. And honestly, it's not just the cost of living in New York that they have a hard time with. It's the rejection. People just are not used to being told no so many times, and they don't know what to do. And people like a paycheck. They'd rather take a regular life than roll the dice. But the best part about sales is you're not really rolling the dice. You're rolling the dice and you kind of know where they're going, and you get to pick them up and roll them again, and pick them up and roll them again, and pick them up and roll them again.
Well, you get to control your own destiny in sales. And I hate jobs and people that come into, I get a salary and vacation and a laptop and a car allowance. We're around the same age. That's the mindset of most people that don't want to go hunt and eat what they kill and don't want that unlimited. You don't want to be capped on what you can make. In sales, you have unlimited income potential, right?
Yeah, it's what we say here all the time, just limitless livelihood, man. Like you can do whatever you want, or you can do nothing. Like I have no issue with people who do zero things. Like if you just want to have a regular job and have a family and live your life, and that makes you super happy, that's awesome. Like sometimes I'm jealous of people like that because, that might be a simpler way of life. I unfortunately wouldn't be happy that way. And so I have this never ending match inside of me that is trying to spark a new fire every day. And it's a lot, and I chase it all day, every day. And the sales industry allows me to do that, and every day is a new day. I meet a new person, right? There's a new deal. You have no idea what could happen. And I think that's what also keeps life exciting for me. I worked in construction for a long time prior to being in real estate and doing theater. And every day was a little bit different, but not really. Like you get up, you get in the truck at 6:30 or 7, you go to the job site that you're going to, you lift heavy shit, you're trying to figure things out, you go home, you're exhausted, you watch TV, you wake up, you get in the truck. And I just didn't want to do that.
Do you remember the Dunkin' Donuts commercial? I got to go make the donuts, right? That's what that kind of job reminds me of. Remember? Sure. Do you remember that when the guy gets up, I got to make the donuts every day? It's the same thing over and over again. Yeah. And I think that I'm also envious of people that go to work every day and they're super excited. Awesome. And they're okay with it. We do. And I'm envious sometimes, but you're right. There's a match. There's something inside of you. And it's not chasing money. It's the hunt. It's the excitement to get a yes. It's getting closer. It's getting all those rejections to get somebody to say, it's a win. You're addicted to winning.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny you just said that. Like I wrote a note in my phone this morning as I was thinking about the difference between people that I aspire to be like, and then other successful entrepreneurs and CEOs. Because I'm a CEO of my own company now for 10 months, right? 10 months and 22 days. And, and the people I don't aspire to be like are focused on the money. And the people I do aspire to be like are focused on winning. Because if you focus on winning and how to win, then you're really focused on the work. And then the work is going to take care of the money. It's two very different ways to think about it. And I think people have a hard way of switching either or. Like sometimes I wish I could just focus on the money and that would be great. And I can't. I just can't. I don't know how to do it. And other people I know who are so focused on the money, they're the ones who take shortcuts, right? They're the ones who are inauthentic, right? They're not genuine. Or they end up also, being a bit short-lived, whether it's, just regards to whatever their ideas are or the work that they're doing.
So your first entrepreneurial experience when you were collecting wood for $1.50 an hour, I want to go back into time because that's your work ethic is next level. And that's what it takes to be a winner or a really successful entrepreneur, to follow and chase your dreams, not only empower other people, but because you're so addicted to winning, it's like you said, it's not about the money, but you learned that, with your father and your younger brother doing that. Talk about that work ethic and that entrepreneur mindset that you got as a young person that really develops today.
I mean, listen, I credited my dad in my first book, right, as the one who taught me the value of the dollar and the value of hard work. And it really sucked growing up. And he'll tell you that. He always told me the easiest thing a parent could do is say yes, right? And like, you're not put here to do the easy things, right? You're put here to figure out how to do the hard things. And telling your child no and teaching them discipline is really tough to do because it's more work, right? It's more effort. And I see that now. Like I have a 2-year-old and I have yet to figure out how to say no to her. Like, I don't know. She's totally going to use and abuse me. I'm going to have to figure that one out. But my dad, put us to work real young, man, like really early. And it wasn't like your normal chores. Like we weren't just taking the trash out. Like it was, cutting firewood for 5 hours. It was picking up, you said wood, it was picking up sticks around the house. And we had a big property and there was sticks from trees everywhere and you couldn't go over it with a lawnmower and it was tough to rake. And so my dad would make me and my little brother go out there and literally pick them all up and put them into little bundles. And we would do that a lot. And so we would do manual work and labor outside. And we do that every summer and through the school year, right? And on the weekends. And none of my friends had to do it. And I still wish I didn't have to do it. Like, it wasn't fun. I wasn't excited about it. I'm not even sitting here saying to you like, oh, wow, those are the golden days when I had to pick up sticks. Like, no, it sucked. Like, I don't want to do that. Right. I specifically look at houses now for myself that don't have yards. So I don't have to pick up any damn sticks. It like really has melded itself into my head that I want to work as hard as I can for the rest of my life so that I never have to do manual labor ever again. But you then take that work ethic that you have as a kid and then as a teenager and then as a young adult and you apply it to life today. And what that means is like, I don't leave the office at a particular time, right? I leave when I know that I'm allowed to leave based on the work that I want to get done that day. If I got to work till 4 a.m., I work till 4 a.m. If I get done at 5 o'clock and I can see the baby, I get done at 5 o'clock. And he also taught me to take pride in the work, right? Because that's how you earn it, and that's also the difference between focusing on money and focusing on winning.
I see the Patriots helmet behind you. So obviously you're a Tom Brady fan. I'm a big Tom Brady fan. I'm assuming you're a Tom Brady fan, right?
Yeah, that's he signed that one. And so it's been behind my desk for a while. It's a good luck charm. Now I got to go get a Buccaneers helmet, I guess. But But people who follow Tom Brady usually appreciate winning, right? And hard work. And, I think that there's something to be said about that. But since your debut on $1 Million Listing, you started, in 2020, a real estate firm called Serhant. Serhant. Right? Serhant, yeah.
And so you've done billions of dollars in revenue, totally crushing it. But what are some of the core values that keep this empire on fire? Like, what are the core values for your people?
A couple, right? And one of our core values is to always be creating, right? We kind of say like create, collaborate, and inspire on top of everything else, right? But between the employees and all of our real estate agents that we have, if you're not creating something new every day, whether it's a new listing, a new relationship, a new marketing idea, a new jogging path for yourself, if you're not creating consistently and adding to the world, then you're treading water. And treading water is okay, right? But you can't tread water forever. Eventually you get tired and you can't tread water anymore. And you're either going to need someone to help you out of the water or you're just going to sink. And so you've got to figure out ways to move around, right? And continue to create. We also collaborate as much as we can. Every single deal I've ever done, I've never done totally by myself. It's with somebody else in some way, shape, or form. It's a relationship that got started down here that turned into this, that turned into that 6 years later turned into a deal. And who knew that was ever going to happen? Like everything in my life, like literally everything in my life has all been due to collaboration with good people. And then you want to inspire, right? You want to inspire yourself to wake up every day. You want to inspire your clients to want to work with you. You want to inspire your other coworkers to want to sit next to you and work on that project together. You want to inspire the world in some way, right? And then it kind of ties back then to personal branding. But those are our, I would say, kind of three core values that we all focus on and that I look for when we hire on top of everything else.
No, those are great core values. Now, one of your best-selling books, Sell It Like Serhant, where you said something that resonated with me, and I had to mention, when people think you're crazy, it's just because they don't have the courage to do what you're doing. Explain that.
I just listed a penthouse apartment 2 days ago for $169 million. It's the most expensive apartment ever listed in New York City, and every single person hates me. Everyone says I'm crazy. Everyone says it's stupid. Everyone says this. Everyone says that. At the same time, a couple months ago, I sold a house for just over $130 million in Palm Beach. And 6 months before that house listed at $140 million was crazy and was stupid. But the market moves the way the market's going to move. A couple years ago, right, I started making property tours. I'm putting them on YouTube. And I would jump in pools and just have fun with it. I was like, I don't want to be a boring real estate agent. Last thing I want to do is die a boring realtor. I am a real estate consultant. I'm a real estate executive vice president, and I enjoy having fun in life. Life is short. So let's do that. Everyone said it's crazy, stupid. No one's ever going to take you seriously. And then we sold an $18 million house over YouTube. It's like, guess it's not so crazy. Let's go hard on this. And I think that every idea is a bad idea until it works out, right? And so that you just have to try as many different things as you can. So at the beginning of our talk, it's like coming to New York. I'd rather regret the things I did than the things I never tried, because who knows, right? Who knows, man? Who knows? We got people going up to space just to check it out these days.
I know. I saw that 10 minutes up and down. I was like,
it's just like, dude, I'm just going to go see the Earth for a second. I'll be right back for lunch. Like, what?
I want to do that, though. I would be nervous it would explode, but I still want to do it. I just want to do it.
I do, dude. Right? Exactly. But isn't it like just crazy to know that the crazy things that we believe are crazy today in just 10 to 20 years, which is relatively just 2011 to 2001. Okay. So all pretty recent. But 10 to 20 years in the future are not going to be crazy. Like they're just not. And that's it. But it's also due to evolution. Like we're making it for a reason. And we're here and unless we destroy ourselves, right? We are here and pushing ourselves forward for a reason. And I just think it's exciting.
Is your energy and your excitement, I think is something that people on your team and people look up to you for, because when you're excited about what you do, you're passionate about what you do, but you're willing to teach and share. And I want to get into, you actually teach and coach sales techniques, correct? Like you have I saw an ad where it was how to close like Serhant.
Yeah.
Talk about that, because I think that's really cool. People need to understand that there's little tidbits that you could pick up when you're in a home closing whatever it is you're closing or selling a car, whatever it is. There are things that we can all learn from specialists like yourself to take it to the next level. So let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, I think, how can I pay it forward, right? I can donate to charity. I can donate with my time, and I do all that. But I also have, almost 13 years of sales experience now. It's all in my brain. I put it into 2 books so far, right? We put it into podcast conversations. But how can I help other people speed up their careers and not go through what I had to go through, which was trial by fire? And so I made a course. Honestly, I made it for my initial sales team. I didn't think it was going to ever be like the thing that it is today, where we have almost 8,000 agents now as members, and like I said, in 110 countries around the world. It's just nutso. And it's called Sell It Like Serhant. It's our Sell It Like Serhant sales program. We just released a new course today, actually. So there's a curriculum that we're building, and it teaches you how to sell real estate, how to sell anything. Right? If you're a car salesperson, insurance sales, selling yourself to dates, right? We help you with that. There's, how to sell through social media. There's how to sell in a tight, low inventory environment like we're in right now. And then there's the membership, which I think is the most important because it's the sales community. And there's referral deals back and forth and left and right. And it's my way of basically saying, all right, so I know how to do everything in this market. I'm going to teach you how to do it too. The same way I am. And I'm not a coach. I'm not a guru. I'm not your mentor. I'm a real estate agent, and I will compete with you too to go after the same business. But I also think it's better for the world if I help make other salespeople better, because it's just going to be better for our industry,
Yeah,
and no one can be me. Like the same way I can't be you. I can't be anybody else. I'm stuck in the guy that I am. But I can take what I've learned and help other people be the absolute best versions of themselves. And that's the way that I pay it forward every day.
I love that. Now, you said your daughter's 2 and you're already giving her everything. I can tell you as a father of 4, my oldest being 22. Yep. 22, 17, 14, and 11. I have 2 grandkids, and I just turned 41. So I played early. I'm retired. Wow. This horse is retired a little bit now, but wow. I can tell you, it doesn't get easier, my man. You think it's bad at 2. Like, wait till they're 16 and they're like, Dad, I want a Range Rover, or Dad, I need it. And we work hard. Yeah. But we're going to give it away to our kids. I mean, I try to argue that standpoint of how do I make them earn things, and I mean, it's at least for me, it's just not going to happen, dude. Like, I've created terrorists that I love. They're literally terrorists, but I love them. Yeah. But I can't negotiate with them. They win every time. So I don't know what to do. So good luck with that. Man. How are you balancing building your business, doing the TV show, everything that you're doing, giving it back, and family? How can the listeners hear how you're able to balance that?
I'm not. I just, I try the best that I can. I think, anyone who's heard me before or anyone who knows me, well, I try to be as brutally honest as I possibly can be. Life is too short for bullshit. And so like, I was super honest with my wife when she was my girlfriend, right? Like, this is building my career on the trajectory that I'm on is really, really important to me. And I want to take as much advantage of this speed that I have now as I can, because eventually it's not going to be there. Like, I'm on a nationally syndicated television show that airs in 160 countries that is an infomercial for myself selling real estate. Eventually that show is not going to be there, right? And we've seen that. Like, shows are going away left and right. Streaming is winning. Like, the world changes. There's no Netflix, on demand when $1 Million Listing started in 2010. It was a different time, right? YouTube had been around for like 4 seconds then. So I have a deal with my wife. Like, I am home 2 nights a week to see the baby before the baby goes to bed. And then Saturdays are for the family. And if I can do a date night that night or on Friday night, I try to do that. I also include her in as many conversations as I possibly can. I'll BCC her on important emails and let her know. I think a lot of people get so busy with work and then they go home and they really do have an issue with like my work life and my life. But it's all one life. You just also happen to have a career, and that's okay. But you have to include your business partner. Your business partner is your spouse, right? You guys signed a fucking contract.
That's right.
And they're there to help you. So if you treat them as totally separate, you're not like Michael Corleone. It's not like, don't talk to me about my work, don't talk to me about my business. Like it's, this is 2021. But I would say I have a hard time with it. And do I wish I could see the baby more? Like, yeah, of course. But I also want her to know as she grows up, especially as a little girl, like that it's okay to work really hard for what you want. And it's okay to have big dreams and big goals and actually go after them. And she's 2. She's not going to remember this.
No, I usually don't get their memory to like 5. At least when
I don't remember my dad going to the office when I was 2 years old. She'll live. She'll be fine.
Yeah. Dude, I love that you're keeping it fucking real, because a lot of people will blow smoke. Oh, I do this and I do that. And the fact is for people, when the iron is hot, when the horse is coming by, you've got to jump on it, because you're right. You don't know when it's going to end. You don't know when that flame is going to go out, because you can't control everything. You can still work hard. You can still bust your ass. You can still sell houses. But when you've got a brand and you've got followers, you've got everything going your way and the stars are aligned, you ride till you can't ride no more. Yeah. I'm a big believer in that, because you got one shot, and all the people you touch, you're empowering and affecting their life as well. It's important to ride that wave. And I think not enough people talk about that. As their trajectory is growing and they're doing big things, they try to, I'm also doing this. It's hard. And I think it's simple. If you schedule and orient, like, hey, Saturday's for family, and I try to do date night, and I have 2 nights that I'm home to kiss the baby, go to bed, and maybe hang out with the wife and watch a show or whatever. Yeah. That, to schedule and set the expectations early, I think, is what people need to hear, because they don't hear that enough. They always hear the smoke story of, oh yeah, I did it. Bullshit. There is no way to do, you can't catapult both. But I love that you said you signed a contract and that's your business partner. I talk to my wife about everything at work, things I probably shouldn't mention, running a company with 2,000 employees and, 800 million, we might go public soon. I'm like, she's involved in my conversations, and, she doesn't have the experience running a company, but I need someone, my soulmate, to be on my side. I need someone to vent to. I need someone to see things that I might not see. Yeah. And I want her to feel empowered, to be important, to be in those decisions, because she's raising a family, which is still a job. This is your whole life.
Dude, raising the family is so much harder.
Much harder. I couldn't do it.
No, by the end of that Saturday with the baby, I'm like, I don't know how you do this all day, every day. Like, she's the worst employee we've ever had.
Yeah, imagine having 4, okay? You got to play zone defense, and you're fucked every time. You're like, we never win. It's insane. Bullshit.
Insane. But going back to your last point, I just want to say, like, it is one thing that I've learned over the last dozen years is one of the hardest and yet most rewarding things to build is momentum. And if you can build momentum in your career, like, do not let go, especially now. Right? It's 2021. History always repeats itself. Always. Like, we see these cycles, and they're always surprising. When things are good, they've never been better. Right? When things are bad, oh my God, it's never gonna get better. It's just crazy to me. Like, we're just cows. But if you look back to the 1920s, like, we are fucking repeating the history. Like the 1920s, right? We came out of the Spanish flu, and everyone spent all their money, which is exactly what's happening right now. And then what happened? The world fell apart. And so, like, without a doubt, that is going to happen again. And so, just like with a word of caution, just save your money, be prepared, focus on today while planning for the future, and do not be stupid. Because maybe it's not tomorrow, maybe it's in 7 years, maybe it's in 2 years. Things will get bad again, and we'll come out of that, and that'll be okay. But like, that is very much on my mind, right? That's why I started my company in the middle of the pandemic. It's like, what am I going to do? Wait till the next recession hits. Like, I got to do this now. And yeah, is it a bad time to start in New York City? Yep. Sounds like a great time. It sounds like I'm not going to have too much competition for a short period of time. So that's a great time to start running.
Very smart. You looked at the issue as an opportunity, and I think people miss that boat sometimes. Every problem opens opportunities, and I always say it's day one. It's not one day. So kudos to you for opening your business, and people can follow you at where can they find you at, Ryan?
Anywhere at Ryan Serhant, Instagram, TikTok. Everywhere.
By the way, the TikToks are pretty cool. I was checking them out this morning, right? I'm like, let me look at this cat's TikTok. And you had one playing that, it was the song from what movie was it or what song was it? You were running in this apartment or something, and there was a song coming on that was.
Yeah, I don't remember the song either. But
the song was good. I wish I could remember it. I was like, I'm going to hijack that song for a TikTok because
do it, dude.
That's a great song.
I'll gift it to you.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, Ryan, I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate you empowering people, helping people, teaching people how to sell, being a family man, keeping it real, building your business, and still grinding in New York. I appreciate you, brother. That's a wrap here on True Underdog Podcast. Make sure you follow us on iHeart, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Instagram. Jason Waller, bam.
And that concludes another episode here on True Underdog. If you're interested in hearing more, make sure you subscribe at iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or the YouTube channel. You can always visit TrueUnderdog.com, subscribe to all of them. Make sure you check out our newest episodes coming out on Mondays and Thursdays. True Underdog, baby. Bam!